Welcome back, boys and girls, to Mr. Mortgage's Neighborhood. We have another super special guest tonight. You've heard from a couple different people in the industry, some employees here, but we have our first former customer. Stephanie Booker has closed, I think, 3 transactions. Is that what we've done? 3 or 4 different
minimum.
Yeah. One of my favorite customers. She did a purchase. She did an FHA 203K purchase with my ex-wife Jen, and walked into $55,000-$60,000 in equity. The way it worked out,
it was over 100,000.
Okay, over 100,000.
I remember you telling me it's one of your biggest, best deals you've ever.
It was a great thing. Everybody out there, if they don't know 203Ks, shoot in messages to us. And you've purchased a couple investment properties since then, and your primary residence.
Yep.
So, what do you think when because you've also done other mortgage transactions with other people?
Yes.
Since that time.
Yes.
So, you don't have to totally kiss my butt, but you can tell them what makes dealing with Mr. Mortgage different than other people that are out in the industry that you've dealt with.
Yeah, that's super easy. Dealing with you is really special to me because you helped me purchase my first home. So even though I've since purchased other properties, it was really special working with you as a first-time buyer.
Sure.
And you answered all of the probably elementary questions that a first-time buyer has. And you also, it's not part of your job description, but you were my therapist in a sense through that whole transaction. So when I was, worried about getting to the closing table, you constantly reassured me. If I had questions about the 203K loan specifically, you never hesitated to shoot me a text, even if it was late at night.
Sure.
So I think that's what the difference is between working with you and others in the industry, is just that that extra special just commitment to the relationship. You really go above and beyond to do things that I know are definitely not a part of your job description.
Thank you. And you've referred customers to me. We've had a relationship throughout the whole time. What do you think? We know, now you didn't know before. It's kind of nerve-wracking.
Oh yeah.
Doing real estate transactions.
Yep.
The buy-in and the selling.
Yep.
So if someone out there is watching this and they're gonna start the process for the first time, they're gonna maybe even buy their first investment property, what advice would you give them going into the transaction?
Yeah, so everyone that I've sent to you have been friends who are first-time home buyers as well. And they've always said, I don't think I'm ready to buy a home. Like, I don't think financially I'm ready, or I would even be able to get a mortgage. So I told them to stop guessing, stop assuming, and really talk to a professional that would tell you about your readiness. And that would have been the advice to my former self as a first-time home buyer, because I remember telling you, I just want to see what the process is, and I just want to see what my likelihood would be of getting a mortgage in like a year from now. You had me send you a handful of documents, and the next day we got on the phone and you said, I can get you a mortgage tomorrow. So I wasn't thinking that I was in a position to go out and buy my first home. A lot of my friends didn't either. And I told them to stop guessing, just go ahead and talk to someone and get qualified.
Awesome. And how many houses did you look at before you found the one that you were going to buy the first time?
No realtor is going to want to work with me for this. I kid you not, no exaggeration, but at least 50. And that wasn't even in this market. This was 5 years ago.
Sure.
But I was outbid a few times on some homes I really liked. Some homes just weren't a fit for me. So every single weekend for, at least a good 3 months, I was going out and looking at houses with my realtor before I found the one.
Nice. And you've used, I don't know the answer to this, I think you have. You've used more than one realtor throughout the transaction?
Nope, just one realtor.
Just one? Just Jen?
Just Jen.
Huh, okay. I thought you used, okay.
Nope.
Sounds good. So what would you tell people then in that same position? What should they look for when they choose a realtor? Because it is really important to be working with someone who you get and gets you, and really it's a tremendously aggravating time. So
Oh, yeah.
you need to have a relationship. So what do you
100%.
think would be the thing you would tell them to look for the most?
Actually, I leaned on you for recommendations for business relationships within the real estate industry. I mean, you obviously recommended my realtor, because after we had that kind of qualification conversation, you said, start looking at houses. Do you have a realtor? No, I have someone for you. You know, realtors are not.
I do that, Jen. I really do that. I swear.
Really do, yeah.
I do.
Absolutely, and you know, all realtors aren't created equal, so I'm always going to start with a recommendation before I'm going to, you know, ask or just flip through Facebook Marketplace or something like that. I mean, you've recommended real estate attorneys to me. I now work with one of the best in the area.
Shout out to Kevin.
Shout
the
out
Duke.
to Kevin.
That's right.
So I started with you for a lot of my business relationships, and anyone you recommend, you have not failed me. So I will continue to do that.
Awesome. Thank you. And so personally, like, what are some of your goals for the next couple of years? What are you looking to get into? What are you looking to do?
So I put a lot of TLC into my first home, did a lot of renovation. My dad helped me rebuild everything in that house, but I think I'm ready for kind of the next phase. I'd like to look at a slightly bigger home, but ultimately I would like for my parents to move into my house because it's a great setup for their retirement. I live in a Cape Cod, so everything's on the first floor that they need access to. It's got a pool. So I'd like to get my parents set up and become their landlord, essentially.
Nice.
And then I'd like to look for another home in the next, you know, year or two.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we won't talk actual numbers.
Yeah.
But probably you bought your house in 2015?
Yep.
Is that right? 2015?
Yep.
Probably it's worth 3 times what you bought it for?
Easy.
Easy?
Because we've done a number of refis and together, and you know, every time that we've got it appraised, I'm just so enthusiastic about the numbers that come back. So it was literally the best purchase of my entire life.
Yeah. So there are people out there that are scared of 203K loans, renovation loans altogether. It wasn't that much of a nightmare. Right?
No.
It was a little bit of a pain, a little bit
It was a
harder than the
pain.
other
A
loans.
little more paperwork.
Yeah.
That's what I will say. More
Yeah.
paperwork. So more paperwork creates, you know, timelines get extended sometimes getting to the closing table. But I do it again. I would do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, because it allowed you to walk into $100,000 in equity
$100,000
and buy a
equity.
house that you couldn't have bought without it.
And actually the equity from my primary home is what I used to buy then a second home as an investment property.
Right.
So I used my equity from my first home to buy another property.
Which you then sold and made
Which
a
I
profit
then sold and made a profit on. So I'm ready for.
You are.
I like being the buyer. I don't like being the seller.
No.
But
Selling's tough, right?
Selling's tough. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. I have one more question for I
Yeah.
always do a personal question
Okay.
for everything. So if you walked out the door
Mhm.
and you opened up a candy bar and it said you want a free ticket for 2 to anywhere in the world, where would you want to go on your
Oh, that's
free
so
vacation?
easy. I'm
So
going.
easy?
Yeah, I'm going to Santorini.
Okay.
Yeah, beautiful.
All right. Awesome. Steph, thanks
Thank
for
you
coming
so
on.
much.
Awesome. Thanks for coming. We'll be back with some more guests. See you later.
Thank you.